What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I got a huge one for you. We're going to be talking about the top 10 ways to make money in the metaverse. Now, I know I go on and on about promoting my Discord chat, but this is probably one of the best communities I have found for coming up with new strategies and different ways to make money in each of these different projects. So today I'm going to be utilizing all of the info that I have learned from the community and my experiences personally, and I'm going to be dipping myself into this market, the metaverse market here in 2022. So today we're going to be going over all 10 of these different strategies that there has been extensive research on, and we are going to dive into my computer to do that. Now, if you guys enjoy this video, please like it. Make sure you hit that notification bell because these are time sensitive. And as always, there is a step further, and that is my private Discord chat where I've been getting most of this information from the start. So there's a link down below for that. But without further ado, let's dive into my computer and start learning about these different ways to make money inside the metaverse. All right, so I've made a little slide sheet for us all to follow along with. You will love it. I've even added some of my little avatar here. And without further ado, now I am going to give you a bonus strategy at the very end. So you're going to get 11 strategies instead of 10, and I hope you enjoy that. So let's first dive into what the metaverse actually is. So some will consider it an online world with virtual spaces, and now you are even able to use virtual reality inside the metaverse. Now, a lot of people have these virtual reality headsets, and you can see this a lot on social media. But inside this online world, you can have concerts being hosted, shopping malls where you can purchase items for your avatar to wear. There's meetups, and there's even casinos inside. There's everything you can potentially think of in this online world. Now, I highly suggest you guys take the time to walk around. You can get guest access into Decentraland like I have here, and as you can see, we can just go completely walking around and diving into the metaverse. Now, as you can see here, it is completely built out. There's shopping malls, there's ways to go to the bar, meet people. Currently it looks like it's Christmas time, as we can see here, but there are many different NFTs everywhere. So this is going to be part of what we're going to get into today, but just so you guys can get a split shot look at what the inside of Decentraland looks like, here you go. All right, but we all came to this video to start learning how to actually make money in this metaverse. So today we're going to be going over 10 separate strategies with one bonus at the end. Now I am going to start with the least risky and end with the most risky. Now this is up for debate, so they could not entirely be in order, but we are going to start with an easier way to just get your toes in the water and try to invest slightly in the metaverse here. So also to do with risk, these sort of start out as more common ways to get into it, and then we will work to some of my favorite and uncommon ways to make money in the metaverse. Now, personally, I do think this could be a great time to get into the market. We did see that first huge pump, that Facebook changing its name to Meta, which basically increased everything metaverse because they are trusting that Zuckerberg knows what he's talking about. So there has been a pullback since then, a smaller pullback, so it could be a perfect time to enter. Now, I do suggest you guys go learn how to use charts and indicators to find proper entry and exit points. This has a lot to do with your profit because just blindly diving in is the easiest way to lose money. So with that being said, none of what I'm about to say is financial advice. Please go out and do your own research. Only use this as entertainment and a starting point for you to go. So without further ado, let's start with number one. So index funds. These are the easiest way to get some small exposure to metaverse. Now, when I say index funds, these are currently in the stock market, so they're not even on the crypto scale as of yet, but you can find them by just basically Googling them. Some of them that I've brought up here, Horizon ETF here in Canada is launching a Metaverse Index ETF. So on the TSX, Horizon ETF is pleased to announce that it's launching Horizon Global Metaverse Index. And as we can read here, some of the key segments that they are going to be investing in is augmented virtual reality, creator economy, digital infrastructure, digital marketplaces, gaming, and digital payments. Another Metaverse ETF I found under Roundhill Investments. You can see down below here the top 10 holdings: Nvidia Corporation, Meta Platforms or Facebook, Roblox, which is actually a Metaverse company, and Unity Software. So we can see that we are getting into all of the proper things the Metaverse will need to operate on and in the future. All right, so moving on to number 2 I've put on the list is actual Metaverse stocks. So as we could see in some of those ETFs or those index funds, you can see that some of these companies were in the index fund. Now that is a grouping of companies, so your exposure to any of them if they go down is not as high as investing specifically in these companies. So we can see on the Motley Fool that a few days ago, 3 surefire Metaverse stocks that could make you richer in 2022. Now, of course, this is some more clickbait here, but they have listed Nvidia. So Nvidia creates graphic processing units or GPUs, and this is an undisputed industry standard for generating lifelike images in video games, giving a leg up on the Metaverse itself. They also talk about Unity Software creating the Metaverse before our eyes here, and Matterport, which is mapping physical spaces to create digital replicas. Now this is very cool to me because they can replicate any of your furniture and put that inside the Metaverse as well. We will get into more of this kind of opportunity later in the video. Now, in a Yahoo Finance article, it has gotten into Jim Cramer, the Metaverse is coming, and these 4 stocks will make it real. Now, remembering none of this is financial advice, even from big corporations like Yahoo Finance. But again, we can see a common theme here: Meta Platforms or Facebook, Nvidia, and if the story continues, we get into Roblox, Unity Software once again. So please go out and do some research on those different companies that are doing something on the stock market that may help the Metaverse in the future. So let's get into number 3. Now, this is when we start getting into the crypto side of things. We've dipped our toes in the stock side of things. Now we're getting to crypto. So personally, an easy way to just invest in the Metaverse is to buy and hold Ethereum. Most projects are built on the Ethereum blockchain. As we can see here, it is at a lower low in the last 24 hours, 3,700. Now again, on the year, we started closer to 1,207 way back a year ago. So it has done incredible, growing each day. So each platform uses the Ethereum gas fees. So many users and early on in the adoption curve. So this will increase the value of ETH if any of these Metaverse companies continue to grow like they do. All right, so number 4 is the actual Metaverse Index Fund. So it holds an assortment of Metaverse tokens, and we can see that on CoinMarketCap right now. So it is down slightly, and we can take a look at it over the 3 months and the year. And of course, we saw with Facebook when they released that announcement, we really started to pick up steam and hit all-time highs. Now there has been a slight pullback, so this could be a great entry point for this type of stock. If we want to pull up the actual assets that this index fund is holding, it is also on the CoinMarketCap. As we can see, Illuvium, Sandbox, Decentraland, Axie Infinity, and Engine, which are probably some of the top 10 tokens currently by market cap inside the Metaverse specific category. So it is on the Ethereum blockchain, and you are able to purchase it through something like Uniswap and do so through CoinMarketCap with all the links here. This will give you great exposure to a lot of different Metaverse companies that if one fails, you aren't going to ruin your portfolio. So now a step further would be if you have conviction into any of these tokens to actually buy and hold that token from that Metaverse project itself. Now again, I do suggest you diversify it a bit by buying multiple instead of just one, because that would leave all of your risk into that company alone. So for instance, Decentraland has the Mana token. We are also seeing a slight decrease in the last 24 hours as I'm filming this, but on the 3 months, we could see how incredible it increased, pulled back a little bit before hitting an all-time high of almost $5 there, almost $6, and it's since pulled back. Now we're just waiting in this zone for the next rocket to either go up or down. But again, this is for you to decide. Some of the other ones we talked about would be Sandbox, which is also seeing a almost 5% decrease in the last 24 hours. Axie Infinity, and we will get into the play to earn in a second, but I myself have been invested in this game, this project for quite a while, and even Illuvium, which is quite hyped in the market if you have been watching. So following buying the actual token in the market, we're going to talk about buying property in the actual metaverse. Now again, this increases your risk because you're not only buying the token that could go to zero. If the land becomes undesirable for any reason in the future, you may not even get your tokens worth out of it. So the risk is increased, but the reward is also increased if it continues on this trajectory. So buying property in the metaverse does come as an NFT, and we can see that in the Decentraland marketplace as well as Sandbox and the Axie Infinity marketplace. So this is all of Decentraland, and as we can see, the light blue is what is currently for sale, and if we want to click on it, the current price is 33,000 mana for this current little speck on the map here. Now if we pulled up mana, we saw that it's currently at just over $3, so that's closer to $100,000 for that piece of land, as it's very close to the Genesis Plaza. But there are incredibly high amounts of prices for each of these specks of land, so you might have to go closer to the outside to get something for less. 6,000 is a little bit less here, so that is closer to only 20 grand for that one. And this is very similar inside the Sandbox. Now the Sandbox has made a lot of news lately because a lot of companies are purchasing land, even Snoop Dogg and Aoki, and parts of land are selling for $500,000 around Snoop Dogg, even though this is very digital. Now we have walked around in the digital space as we saw in closer to the beginning of the video, and so with all of these stores so close together, the advertising space is starting to increase exponentially. So there are many strategies. Once you do own the land, you could host VIP parties that only people with NFTs can get into. You can create casinos, you can create concerts, you can even rent it out to other people, potentially even just buying, holding, and flipping it for the future potential. So as we talk about each of those specifically, some of them offer you an opportunity to earn by actually playing the game as well. So many are actually available to have play to earn capacities, and some people are making anywhere between $10 to $250 per day. Now I myself do have some Axie teams and I've made videos on them, so if you want to go check out those videos, I do suggest you do so. But I myself have a few different Axie teams, and I have sponsored someone to play the game for me. So they grind and play the game for me each day, earning the in-game token SLP, as you can see here, and you can claim it every 2 weeks. So I would claim the SLP and split it with him, and so this is a great way to earn passive income for me. Now if you have the money to invest in your own team, you can also purchase your own team and grind it out yourself to make that SLP. Now again, this has everything to do with how many teams you have and what your current rate or level is on each of these Axies. So do some research on them if that interests you as a play to earn game. Now I do want to pull up this article here that talks about the top play to earn games. Some of them are Splinterlands, if you guys want to dive into a tactical card game, Axie Infinity, which we talked about, Gods Unchained, which was another one of my favorites, and the actual Sandbox. So there are a ton of different ones you guys can look into, even racing games. So very cool that our current marketplace is offering play to earn games. All right, so number 8 is when we start getting into some of the interesting types here. And so creating NFTs for the metaverse is one that I want to bring up to you guys. So the metaverse is going to need art, avatars, products, buildings, wearables, you name it. Everything you have in the current world, it will need to be in the metaverse if and when everyone decides to go create their own and live inside it, as Mr. Zuckerberg intends for us to all do. So again, you can design these things on the computer and upload them into the metaverse. Now there's a couple ways. If you don't know, you can learn. So leverage the YouTube learning economy. There's a ton of stuff for free, a ton of videos that show you exactly how to do this. But if you have the capital and don't have the time, I suggest you go and hire someone off Fiverr or Upwork for something like that. I found an article that was released 2 days ago that stated H&M now has a Metaverse store. You can buy clothes in a virtual world. So of course they would have had to hire someone to create these items unless they had them in-house already. But again, this is crazy as we can see the inside of this virtual store and can just imagine what people are going to need to walk around and try to flex on each other in the metaverse. All right, number 9 would be creating metaverse services. So maybe you don't want to create metaverse products. You can actually create the metaverse services itself. So go on Fiverr. If you know how to do this, you learned it on YouTube, you can start creating it for people themselves. So again, I'm going to pull up an example here. Just typed in the metaverse on Fiverr and people are going to build you a house, architecture, clothing, avatars, hoodies, anything you actually need. They can create here on Fiverr. You could be one of the original people who are creating this X amount of product or service for other people because you've learned how to do it, and there will be a wave of more people trying to create avatars, learning how to design them themselves. So this could be a huge opportunity for you. Now, I feel one of the easiest opportunities to also get business without spending any money is just marketing your services in these free groups. These people are some of the most targeted people that will want your service. So again, going inside, obviously acting very friendly and helpful, but asking these people if you can be helpful at all and leading them to your funnel. All right, so number 10 is create content on the metaverse. Now, it doesn't need to be YouTube content like I do myself, but it can be on TikTok or even Instagram. Now, you don't need to show your face or identity. I have seen tons of Twitter influencers that have been undoxed, don't show their face at all. They just have an avatar. But they host successful call groups, Discord groups, paid Discord groups, beginner setup calls, one-on-one phone calls, shoutouts, etc. Once you start getting a small following because maybe you found your niche and are excited about this type of metaverse growth and opportunity in the future, then you can definitely dive into it and become an expert in the field and start creating some of this content on TikTok to help people. Of course, if it does help people, you'll get a following. Next thing you know, there'll be people asking you to be sponsored for some of your content. All right, I truly appreciate you guys following and watching to the end of the video, so I do want to give you a bonus. Now, the bonus is going to be day trading on hype. Now, of course, if you've been watching my channel, I used to trade a lot of shitcoins and it was based all on hype. I would never get too married to my bags, but I would just see how people would operate. So we do this a ton inside my Discord, and this is probably the biggest place I find all of the IDOs, but I play in the markets because tons of companies are launching and there is tons of hype surrounding these larger launches. So there's IDOs daily. So I find where the hype is. As I mentioned, I never marry my bags and I try to take consistent profit anywhere between 2 and 10x. Now, it's a lot easier to find 2 10x's than one 100x. So again, if you find a 10x and pull it out and 10x that again, you are at your 100x. So find IDO launch pads with proven track records and even join my Discord to be a part of this chatter on a daily basis. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was packed full of value. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and until next time, guys, take care.